Ducati just unveiled the new 2026 Panigale V4 R, a full-blown track weapon that costs nearly twice as much as the already expensive Panigale V4. So, what makes that extra R so special? Horsepower-wise, the V4 R makes a little more than the standard V4, about 2 extra ponies. But that's not even its final form. With a full acropovic exhaust system and special formulated oil from Shell, it cranks out a staggering 239 horses, pushing top speed beyond 330 kilometers per hour. Torque, however, is a different story. With its smaller displacement and top-end focus performance built for racing, the V4R makes about 6 Newton-meters less. Still, compared to the previous gen, it actually delivers more torque, so it's an improvement overall. Weight also plays in its favor. The V4R is 5 kilos lighter, and when you combine that with the extra power, you get a stronger power-to-weight ratio than the base V4. For US riders, things are a little different. Both are tuned a bit softer. Underneath the fairing, Ducati has made some changes to the V4R to make it even more race-ready. The engine's still the familiar Desmosedici straight-ale, 90-degree V4, with a counter-rotating crankshaft to reduce gyroscopic effect and the same twin-pulse firing order as the other Panigales. But to meet world Superbike homologation rules, displacement drops to 998 cc from 1,103 cc thanks to a shorter stroke. The V4R also runs one less piston ring, and for 2026, it gets a heavier crankshaft to boost mid-range, lighter pistons that save about 40 grams each, and updated conrants. The intake system also gets a major overhaul. Secondary fuel injectors are now moved to the top of the ducts, paired with redesigned throttle bodies and revised intake trumpets for better efficiency. It keeps the same 14:1 compression ratio and Desmo valve system for the valve train. But the V4R benefits from new cam profiles that deliver a fatter mid-range torque curve while still maintain peak power and even improve emissions. For the transmission, the V4R gets a taller top gear ratio to improve top speed, and it also features Ducati's new racing gearbox, which changes how the gears are arranged. Instead of the usual down for first, up for the rest, it puts neutral at the very bottom, under first gear. And to prevent riders from accidentally hitting neutral while upshifting, Ducati adds a neutral lockout system that requires a dedicated thumb lever on the right-hand bar to engage neutral. Once you shift back into first, the system automatically reactivates, so you can't hit neutral by mistake mid-race. As for electronics, the V4R packs the latest generation electronics package, with all the bells and whistles you'll find on the V4 and V4S. There are race ABS, 6-axis IMU, ride-by-wire, traction, wheelie, engine brake, launch control, and a quick shifter. The big highlight for the 2026 model compared to the previous gen is the Ducati Vehicle Observer, or DVO. It basically simulates around 70 external sensors on the bike and sends all that data to the main computer, allowing the rider aids to react faster and more precisely. The 6.9-inch TFT dash is the same one used across the Panigale lineup, complete with optional multimedia features. Aside from the racing gearbox and neutral lock mentioned earlier, the R model also gets a grip meter display that shows real-time traction feedback. It's a race-only feature that only works with slicks or rain tires, but it helps the rider see exactly how much grip they got to work with. The V4R borrows its frame from the standard V4, so both use an aluminum front frame, a type of perimeter frame that relies more on the engine as a structural element, making it lighter and more compact. Compared to the previous version, it has 40% less lateral rigidity to improve feedback and boost front-end grip at extreme lean angles. For suspension, both bikes use fully adjustable mechanical setups. The base V4 gets a Showa BPF fork, while the V4R is fitted with a more premium Öhlins NPX gas charge fork. There's no electronic suspension like on the V4S, since that would push the price beyond a world Superbike homologation limit, and electronic suspension isn't allowed in the championship anyway. The same story applies at the rear, where both run fully adjustable, non-electronic shocks. Braking is handled by the latest Brembo Hyper calipers. And for wheels, the R model gets forged aluminum units instead of the cast aluminum ones found on the base V4. Both bikes run the same tire setup, 120 up front and 200 at the rear. The V4R sits a bit taller, but is slightly more compact thanks to a shorter wheelbase. Fuel capacity stays the same at 17 liters, though the R model gets a brushed aluminum finish for that extra premium touch. As for pricing, it's in a whole different league, around 50 grand, nearly double the price of the base V4. When it comes to aerodynamics, the V4R sports redesigned winglets that are 20 millimeters wider than those on the standard V4, generating an extra 6 kilograms of downforce at 300 kilometers per hour, a 25% increase over the previous design, with no added drag. It also gets MotoGP-style corner side pods that improve traction on both wheels and divert turbulence away from the rider. These side pods work with the road surface to create a ground effect, essentially sucking the front end down for better grip, something you'll really feel when you're fully leaned over a high speed.